things in order to be believed, you have to hear them and you have to see them. Sunday edition of Tyrone Bowman Live. I call it the Clown Show. Making a mockery of immigration suffrage. The DHS, or the Department of Homeland Security, is considering having a reality show in which immigrants compete for citizenship. Yeah, you heard about it. The Department of Homeland Security, known as DHS, is considering about putting together a reality show in which immigrants compete for citizenship. I found this article as written in the Washington Post by Amy B. Wang. Let's talk about it. The Department of Homeland Security is vetting a pitch for a reality television show in which immigrants would compete against one another for U.S. citizenship. The proposed reality show, first reported by the Daily Mail, quote, is the very beginning stages, or is in the very beginning stages of that vetting process and has not received approval or denial by staff, end quote. DHS spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin told the Washington Post in an email. McLaughlin added that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi L. Noem has not reviewed the proposal. Are you serious? Let me continue to read this article. The reality competition series was pitched by Rob Warsoff, a Canadian-born writer and producer who was behind A&E's, quote, Duck Dynasty and Bravo's Millionaire Matchmaker. Warsoff, who could not be reached for comment Friday, told the Wall Street Journal that he has not had direct contact with Noem, but has had positive feedback from the federal agency and is in preliminary discussions with networks. Are you serious? The white Afrikaners who came from South Africa didn't have to compete to come over here. It's a so-called alleged genocide and the so-called murders that they were experiencing. Nobody said, let's have a reality show idea for them to compete, to come over to America. You know, this nation has a long history of mocking anyone that's not of Anglo-Saxon heritage. In the early days of Hollywood, if you go back and look at some of the old vintage Hollywood black and white shows, you'll find out just how they made fun of the Japanese, they made fun of the Asians, they made fun of the Spanish people, they made fun of black people, but they never made fun of anyone that was of a Caucasian persuasion. This is not something I'm making up. This was reported in the Washington Post. It's supposed to be a respectable newspaper owned by Jeff Bezos, you know, the founder of Amazon. And the only way that something like this could be considered is for profit purposes, for making money. This isn't the Hunger Games for immigrants, Warsoff told the newspaper, referring to the dystopian fictional novel by Suzanne Collins, in which contestants fight to the death for survival. This is not, hey, if you lose, we are shipping you out on a boat out of the country, close quote. Well, what is it then? Who would even come up with such a insidious idea to begin with? Instead, according to a pitch deck obtained by the Daily Mail, each episode of the proposed show would feature a heritage challenge, an elimination challenge, a town hall meeting, and a final vote. 12 immigrant contestants would arrive on a boat at 12 Contestants would arrive on a boat at Ellis Island and travel around the United States in a train called the American. Also, the proposed name of the show to learn about the nation's history. What the hell? What is your question? Go ahead. What is your question? You see, I'm in the middle of something serious here. Ask it now. Along the way, contestants would compete in supposedly quintessentiality American challenges like mining for gold in San Francisco, log rolling in Wisconsin, or log rolling in Wisconsin, and assembling the chassis for a Model T Ford in Detroit, according to the Daily Mail. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is a stupid idea. The final episode would feature one winner being sworn in as an American citizen on the steps of the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., according to the pitch. The proposal also listed actors Sofia Vergara, Ryan Reynolds, or Mila Kunis as potential hosts for the show, as they are naturalized citizens of the United States. Reynolds was never consulted about the show, according to a person with knowledge of the situation who spoke on the condition it's always of anonymity because they are not authorized to discuss his projects. This is just plain stupid. No other people would be humiliated in such a fashion. A reality series. So that immigrants, they're going to be black and brown and Hispanic and Mexican, would have to be pitted against one another in order to be considered to become a part of the country. I'll bring you the stories as I find them because it's worth talking about. This is not for clickbait. This is not for a bunch of views. This is for informative purposes only. This is what I do on this program. Tyrone Bowman Live. Never surrender. Never quit.